What's up, everyone? Fair to follow Pokemon fans? As always, Switch down here. Well. Another week, another week. What else been happening? Not much. I've been working on Malakai's long story. And I'm not just kidding. It's not. I'm not kidding. It's pretty long. About an hour long. Ish. Depends. Well. Isn't our friendly? I would say, no, wait, there's actually one Pokemon I can see this guy as.
I
I can
swear to
see,
God, I
I
swear
can
to
see you
God,
as,
if you change my name, I'm gonna kill you.
I can see you as Ursaluna or
Ursaluna,
or Ursing.
Ursaluna or Ursaring wouldn't really matter to me.
I mean, the bear types or bear Pokemon.
Yeah, they're bear Pokemon, yes.
Better that than Snorlax.
True.
You don't even look like Mewtwo. You look more like I don't know, Meowth.
You talking about fucking Kovu?
Yeah. Well, that depends on which one. Considering that there are three known.
The fuck do you mean which one? There's only one Kovu we know.
No, Meow.
Oh,
Yeah, do you know the normal type, dark
my
type,
bad.
steel type.
My bad. Yeah, there's three different types of Meowths. There's Cantonian Meowth, Alolan Meowth, and Galarian Meowth.
Yeah. The only one of those are the low end one is pretty weird.
The Alolan one is pretty weird, yes, but it's got a longer. It's also got a longer fucking charm, if that's what it's called.
True. Even though that ones are, it's the only one who has its same name as the last second evolution form. Meanwhile, the daughter, the steel type has a different name.
Hmm. Berserker is the evolutionary form of Meowth, of the Galarian
Yeah.
Meowth.
I mean, it doesn't even have the same name as the two other ones have.
Right.
But to be honest, though, Meowth is, in my opinion, one of the worst Pokemon.
Yeah, but then there's Team Rocket's Meowth. He's a genius
He's good.
behind. He is a genius.
Yeah, well, he's unique.
He's also unique. I'll give him that because he can fucking talk.
Well, he taught himself and even taught himself how to
Yeah, I
walk
know
upright.
he's self-taught when it comes to talking.
Yeah,
I know, trust me.
it's well, Meowth is one of the few types of Pokemon that I really don't like much, but well, who knows?
Right.
I mean, some fans might say thinking Meowth are overrated character and all that. I mean, it's just it's the same thing with like Moltres.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pretty bad.
Yeah.
I prefer the original one though.
Mm-hmm.
And what they introduced as Snorlax first evolution form, Munchlax,
Munchlax, yes.
I was shocked and stunned at the same time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Munchlax is a smaller version of Snorlax and very hyper.
Mm-hmm.
I never imagined that.
Right.
And Snorlax in his Dynamax form,
Mm-hmm.
that's just, or even Team Rocket's Meow when he was in Gigantamax or Dynamax form.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
When they were in their Dynamax or Gigantamax form, some of the common attacks that like Pikachu has, quick
Mm-hmm.
attack or something like that, they're useless. I cannot even imagine a Dynamax Pikachu in a quick attack,
Mm-hmm.
considering the huge size now.
Yeah.
But have you seen the new Pokemon series?
Pokemon Horizons? Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
Have you seen all of them?
I've only seen the first season because
And the first
it
season,
recently dropped on Netflix last month.
how many episodes have you seen so far of this?
13.
Well, the episode is number is 39 or 40 episodes.
Yeah, well, that's with different seasons.
I have actually seen all the 20 so far online, but the rest I
Yeah,
haven't.
well, there's only 13 episodes on the for season one
That might be
on
true.
fucking Netflix.
Yeah,
So
well, Pokemon Horizon is a little bit better compared to the original one.
hey, Chris. Sorry about that. I was talking to my neighbor. Go ahead.
I mean, considering that the new main villains, the explorers,
Right.
and even the main leader, Gibeon, has never been mentioned in the seed.
Right.
And some people might assuming that might even be, I don't know, Giovanni or something.
Right.
And even a lot of people assumed Giovanni was Ash's father.
Bro, that would suck if I find out my father is a fucking leader of a of a fucking villain organization.
Oh yeah. Though I did look up in Google searching who is Ash's father. One of the results said Mr. Mime was his father.
Yeah, I don't believe everything you hear with that
Yeah.
when it comes to Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is not his father.
Yeah, here's the thing. Even though he's a humanoid in Pokemon,
Yeah, I know.
we don't even know if even a Pokemon and human can even have an offspring. Well. Is it our
He's
friendly
saying I'm
gamer?
echoing again. Do you hear me echoing?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't hear anything echoing on my end.
Huh.
It's fucking weird.
Well, there's always.
You can't hear it because that's not how it works on StreamYard. We can
No,
hear
I
the
won't
echo,
been
but you can't.
No, I will have been able to hear it.
No, Kovu, this exact same thing happened to Kovu, and he said he wasn't echoing when he was.
Well, that was because he's had either his TV
But
or
my
whether
point
it
is,
was
my
YouTube.
point was that he didn't even know he was echoing.
But I'm outside, so I shouldn't be echoing at all.
Let me see the settings. Let's see.
Don't worry about it. I'll just go again. I don't know why the point of me joining was in the first place.
I mean, it's pretty weird otherwise. Oh, I got it. Well, it's quite
Might be
different,
why,
annoying.
actually. I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, I tried to I did check on the settings and but there is only limit I can do. Like go to settings, automatically adjust the mic volume, reduce mic background noise, echo cancellations, but that's pretty much it that is that I can do. So there's either his side of the on his phone that might be the cause of that, but I don't even know. StreamYard technology it's perfectly great.
Nope. Speaking of bad
Well, leave it up.
technology, here's a new one. Here's a new one on me. My phone didn't notify me that you were streaming. Hooray! Uh, I got your Discord thing, but I didn't get a notification from YouTube this time. So that's new.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I just probably have to reset it or something like that. I'll do it later.
Mm. So what have you been doing though?
I've been doing alright.
Same. Not much. Uh, Mostly been watching some YouTube and took a walk with my parents, the dog, and yeah, it's mostly been relaxing. We have, well, mostly been working on Malachite's story so far, and just past 1 hour marking that, almost near by the end of the kids. I don't tell you, I don't tell you that he gave me some ideas for what he wanted to happen in the story, and I have mixed up so many things about it, and I was just confused exactly what he wanted me to do. And then it evolved about the kids in the story. He wanted to have 18. One time he said it was going to be 19 or 18. I was like, okay, now does. And the fact that even despite I had one document that contained earlier info that he wanted to have in his story, and then and now about a couple of months later, he added some new information which were not even the remotely the first one. And even though some of the info that he wanted me to use, I unfortunately had to change some of that. But I kept about 99.9% as his original and only 1% as his my own. Even though the fact that he did give me some ideas what he wanted to happen in between, like say what are the dates, like and how they um admit their feelings and all that. Well, I did change that since kind of read that near the end. I was like, well, I almost about more than half an hour, more than almost an hour in the story. So like, screw it. I'm not going to change that. And but yeah, I mean, considering that Malachi asked me to do that story for him for his birthday, which is next week, so that's just going to happen. Uh, so about that, I know that even Robert Freeman asked me to do stories recently when he did mention in the stream. Um, think, let's see, come on, where are we? Here we go. He asked for Twilight and Lyra, Twilight with Marionette, Starlight with Pinkie Pie, Cozy Glow with the Screwball, Starlight with Filthy Rich, Sweetie Belle and Cozy Glow, Scootaloo with Cozy Glow, Apple Bloom with Cozy Glow, Starlight with Sugar Bell. I did, for a fact, even show that from a girlfriend for her opinion. And her answer for that was, well, she said skip Starlight and Filthy Rich and Cozy Glow and Screwball, since Screwball is the daughter of Fluttershy and Discord. And another reason for why she wanted me to skip Starlight and Filthy Rich is because she's in her 20s ish. We don't know exactly. And I feel very rich, presumably that he is in his 50s. And to be insane, it is very common these days that people can go in for someone who is twice as your age, or even as 10-year older, or even just 5-year old. Like, I mean, 5 years older, or 10 years older between each other, or even as 20 years. So, yeah, so she told me to Starlight and Filferich will be skipped as a story. And yeah, so another thing is that I have I have always assumed I had only about 400 uh, uh, ideas on my email. Nope, not at all. That's more than that. Last time I checked, it was about 1,658. And that, I'll tell you, is a lot. So after I finished the Malachi story, I have no idea what story to do next. But considering how many stories have been asked for me for the almost 9 years, so but doing some one of the stories that Robert did ask me, Skulalu and Koziglu. No, wait, I had even done that. The only recent story I did with Skulalu was with Diamond Tiara. Yeah, that was it. So I don't know exactly which one of the stories is going to be due to be made. And even the ones that he asked for was audio. Um, I would have to say right now it's that for most part, it depends if I can find enough pictures for the story. Otherwise, it might otherwise end as an audio. Ish. But I really hope I don't have to do, I don't know, like 12 or 15 stories in one within just 2 3 days in a row. Hey, that happened to me too once. And believe me, my throat afterwards, after those audio stories, and it wasn't good. I was a little bit sore throat afterwards. Well, both of those stories weren't that long. I think it was about between 20 and 25 and to 30 minutes long. Depended on what you were. But most of them were actually, at the time, my dad was about, what was it? Um, I think it was actually mostly crossover. I think one like that. So yeah, I really had no idea. At least Malachi can be at least happy enough to know that his story almost done. So wonder who else is gonna join in. Cody was there, but he left because of the echoing. Kubo was used online on Discord only before I started, but I was like, okay, at least he will join in. But no, he hasn't. Hey, yep. Hmm. You know, I have always wondered to myself, how long it is this story that I've been making gonna last? I mean, if there was no more shippings, I mean, like Therapy or Twipe or if there was no more shippings, if those sites only had, say, uh, 200 stories, and if those were done, and there was another email done, and no one else to be found, I'm like, now what? since my stories are mainly based on MLP stories, and it's like, okay. But I have been thinking, sometimes this year I will try um, even to focus on making stories based on other uh, series, franchise. Of course, depending on which one it is. So, um, Rick and Morty. Now that is what I am not gonna do. Reason I just don't like the series. I barely hadn't even seen it on TV or anything, but seen clips of it from the show. But I really don't even like it at all. It makes confusing. I know for a fact that there is a giant baby in orbit of the planet, which is the offspring between Rick and his sister Summer by accident. Like this baby is giant, almost I have to say it's almost moon size. And how's that even possible? I have no idea. And Code Lion is here. Not Code. Well, I don't even know. Well, who knows if who else is going to join in for this? I just don't know if it's going to be any casual stream or not. It depends. Since normally Cody is just we just normally watch an event. And it has been a while since we actually made one with Pokemon. Uh, yeah, Cody, it is pretty much disrespectful in the series. I mean, I saw one clip from one episode where um Morty was uh almost dying from a poisonous snake, an alien one. They traveled to a planet that was pretty quite advanced, and they were intelligent snake species, but they were fighting against each other because of the difference how they looked. Newsflash, they looked identical. So how they were even fighting like that, I don't even know. And I saw this a few clips where Rick and Morty traveling from different dimensions, ultimate universe, tracking down every single Morty Rick to killing them, to find the one who killed his wife Diana or Dana, whatever her name was, and that they found a place and the building outside was covered with Morty, literally thousands of them, maybe alive, and that they were being tortured. And I was like, well, in my opinion, Rick and Morty, it is total complete garbage. Family Guy at least more showing more humor and more respect for that. Of course, Simpsons. Well, I'll be honest, though, I didn't even watch The Simpsons much lately either. Kind of lost interest in that show. Two and a Half Men, but Alan Charlie, no, that one. It had a lot more comedy at least, but even more towards the end, after Charlie was removed from the series as the main character, well, it went downhill fast. It just, yeah. No worry, Cody. I don't think it's gonna be an occasional stream today. It's just so far no one else has been even shown in, and well, if no one hasn't joined in, if they're when we passed in half an hour mark, uh, might just do something else. There's always tomorrow. Since we have always done, have been a while since we did a game stream with Pokemon actually. Since I recently updated the one we have. about uh, 80 question. Yeah, 81, yeah. So, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, if we don't do the game show, I do have the randomizer, so we could do that. But
That might work.
okay,
By the way, when is your brother's gonna leave?
Dylan.
Yeah,
We're still figuring that out.
he hasn't even thought of that. I mean, I thought that he told once before.
No,
Uh,
he's thinking sometime either like late into April or maybe early May, but he still hasn't figured out like what date.
well, I think one time he did mention he was going to go back somewhere in March or February after April or after at least after Easter or something like that. But
Yeah, but he changed his mind because my birthday was April 1st, so he had to stay for that.
true.
And then when and then of course Wednesday happened. Like seriously, I don't think you'll understand how badly I had the 3rd of this month. I don't think you understand. It was so bad.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, makes sense.
it was bad. It was bad before everything happened.
Hmm.
It was just ridiculous.
Uh, Lottery tickets. Well, Cody. What is
So
the
he had to stay
most
for
of you?
that, and yeah.
What is the most of you have been? You won one of those lottery tickets. Personally, my what I won with the most was maybe just $1,000, just 1,000. But the funny thing is, for next couple of weeks after that, I went to buy some of you one more, and I won almost every single time. So I won probably like total 1,300. But the 1,000 I did win, I didn't keep it. I went here to my parents since they needed more than I do. Honestly, though, I don't even really care much about money at all. I'm not that desperate of needs of the most expensive things like new clothes, new shoes, and all, or maybe I mean like the top expensive brands, something like that. I don't really care about it. I mean, this might have been a very well-known brand or something, and they're really brand new, expensive. Do you expecting it to be a really good quality? No. Sometimes even the most expensive brands can always sometimes even be um, bad quality. I'm just saying, it's possible. Even though they're saying, oh, the most cheapest brand are the ones that are the bad quality and always tear apart. Not necessarily. Even the most expensive brand can also have some flaws. I'm saying it's possible. Depends on where I'm from. But I'm not accusing any particular brand itself. It happens from time to time. Certain brands can help. They can be from some uh, shoes, clothes, but it cannot be because that it might. Most of them are just mass produced by machines. It's it can be some design flaw when they're making in the process. So it's like that. Has anyone heard of the show 2020, 2005 to 2007? Looney Tunes Unleashed? Uh, nope. I never heard of it. Uh, Not really. I don't think so. I only heard about this uh school for Looney Tunes that where the Bug Bunny, uh just like Smith, Sam, and the other characters were teachers. But no, this one I never heard of. But based on the looks, I am probably the one who won't even watch that. Uh, no, I don't think so. But yeah, I don't even know. Have any of you guys ever heard of SWAT Cats? It's a cartoon show.
Nope.
SWAT Cats, the radical squadron. It was between 1993 and 95, so that was before your time, game guy. That's before you were even born. I was like between 3 and 5 years old. But I don't think I actually saw the one, at least on TV though, but seen it on YouTube actually. In fact, I actually did some stories based on SWAT Cats characters. Um, but they actually have been some plans of re remaking or reboot the SWAT Cats. But it hasn't really been any further updates about that one. And even a series called the Dino Riders back from the 80s also had been discussed of being reboot but as a live action. But last update of that one was back in 2018. Um, yeah, I actually seen I saw this at the X-Men 97 on Disney Plus, and I really haven't even seen it much. I've seen the the opening scene or the open theme song. It's pretty much identical to the from the X-Men from the 90s. I looked on one into it, and it turned out some of the original characters or the original voice actors are actually part of this, but some of them are not the new ones. Someone actually had either passed away or retired. But based on what I saw on X-Men 97 clips of it, it's just yeah, I might not even want to watch that one honestly. Of all the X-Men series that I have watched over the years, I have to say X-Men Evolution is probably even better. No, the last season they had can't see it, but it's not even hasn't even been translated. So it's only in English, but it's yeah. Wolverine is he's actually of he were the oldest member of the X-Men. Well, considering that well he technically couldn't live for thousands of years or so, but he despite he had this quick healing ability, despite if you shot him in the head, close blank, he would he would be technically he will be dead for only a brief moment before he revived himself. But you see, after he was having that metal put in himself, part of Weapon X, that metal that was part of his bone or his skeleton actually was poisoning him. That particular metal was, even though it was indestructible, but he was even slowly poisoned by it. But due to his fast healing ability, which stopped that, or at least halted it. But in the movie Logan, which takes place in the year 2029, I think, it eventually had reached a point where his body was in his healing ability was almost had almost stopped. It was nearly impossible for them to even do. His body wasn't even able to heal as fast as it was originally. Because considering that he was 197 years old. And if he didn't had those, um, if he didn't have that indestructible metal on his bones, he might have lived on much, much longer. Even though Laura, his daughter slash clone, X-23, is also having those metal claws or her skeleton, and she will be suffering the same fate, and eventually in the far future. Even though in Logan, the world's mutants, or at least the world population of mutants in that movie, minus not include uh, Charles Xavier Wolverine, it was almost like the mutants population was nearly near extinct. Because since Wolverine was the pretty much the last soul living X-Man, due to the fact when Xavier having his dementia, when he has a seizure, since he's a psychic, due to the fact his telepathic ability, he killed majority of the other X-Men. But they never didn't like they weren't specifying exactly which ones. But presumably it lists on that. So and but the later revealed reason why there are no other mutants. A man, a man who was working for a company, found a way to somehow, um, how to say it, put a switch kill that is like a switch, an all switch, like somehow deactivated that powered gene in people. So people can still be born with that gene, but they couldn't develop any powers. That was distributed in food. That the means of the methods of this was introduced in food, any type of food. It can be in Twinkies, it can be in pizza, it can be in hamburgers, you name it, and even drinks, juice, pop soda, beer, you name it. Eventually, they cloned a number of mutants. They were the offspring or the children of some other famous mutants, including Logan. And yeah, it was just pretty bad, honestly. There were, in fact, some comics based on Marvel where Logan he died on top of a building while being covered in the same metal, and he became like a metal statue. But in the end, I don't know if that's even true or not, considering many sources. And for one of the most based on the uh, Marvel characters or in the X-Men is that um uh what's his name again? Sabretooth, the guy that was fighting against him in X-Men Evolution and in other series. He's actually Logan's older half brother, and he had the same abilities as Logan, at least healing ability. It turned out that Logan's father was actually the groundskeeper of that rich family that he was working for, and he had an affair with the lady in the family. And Logan later learned of that, but after he had killed his foster or his adopted father by accident, though, because his his claws, like bone claws, pop out of his arm, his hands, as usually powers of the mutants start to manifest when they're reaching puberty. So it makes sense. So Logan, he escaped with his older brother, and for the next several decades, he fought in both the American Civil War, First World War, Second World War, and I think even Vietnam War. So he basically fought in numerous wars. But having him die in the last movie was, yeah, it was pretty, it was something though. But having Logan itself was, well, even in the first movie of X-Men, I was always wondered how old he were. But then, based on that, he was born sometimes in the mid 1800s, and that makes sense. If he was 197 years old when he died, I mean, if he didn't have those metal on his bones, on his skeleton, Logan might likely have been alive for another few hundred years, or maybe 1,000 years. Who even knows? And even that cure, what he had in the third X-Men movie, that was only temporarily. It only temporarily cured other mutants. In fact, even they extracted that cure from another mutant. So if other mutants would even walk in front of him like Beast did, his hand turned back to normal. And when he removed from the boy's presence, his hand returned back to his blue fur. So I was really surprised that a mutant had ability to somehow, his mutant power was to neutralize other mutants' powers. So for example, Professor Xavier, he couldn't even be in a presence of the boy and even try to talk to him telepathically. It wouldn't even have worked because the closer he would have been to the boy, the closer, the more unaffected his. Um, so basically, the telepathic power would have been turned off. He would have been a normal human. In the second movie of the X-Men, boy, that was pretty bad. Where turned out that this military man had a son who was a mutant. Let's say it's just their son made his mother to use a power drill right in her head and killed her. And he did some brain surgery on his own son so that he can control it. And it also turned out that he was the one directly responsible for Weapon X, the same one that turned him Logan to this who he is. And Robert asked me if I saw his stories of this. Robert, if you're referring to the list of the ones you saw, uh, yeah, I did, but Kozuglo's Screwball. Um,
That throat is having a day. Actually, do we still have? Yep, we do. We just got these Raven on here. We still have a few steeds we never did.
yeah, you can probably turn on the game.
Completely forgot we even had. Saved them on my phone and everything, and then I forgot. That's just how my memory works sometimes. Is this the right one? Yeah, that was the right one.
What else should be canon with an X-Men? Spike and Rarity. Oh yeah, that worked. What would Pink be like if she drank 20 cans of Pepsi? Uh, well, first of all, if you're referring to Pepsi Light or like Pepsi Zero or regular Pepsi, regular one, um, first of all, considering how she's already hyper, and if Pinky drank 20 cans of Pepsi, eesh, like that's like an unstopping hyper monster, like a nightmare. Knowing her hyper she is already, but 20 cans of Pepsi, eh, I don't even imagine that. Pinky is already hyper as she is, but I mean, imagine if like she, what if Pinky was somehow got some coke, like cocaine, pink and cocaine, and that would have been a pretty bad disaster because she would have been an even, dare I even say it, maybe 100 times more hyper than she normally would be. And oh my god, and I don't even know uh, if Pinky would even be, oh, I don't know, paranoid. Oh, your profile is gone there, Cody. But I actually saw this uh
Come on.
how
That
Pony the main six will react if they were drunk.
There you go. We have a few seeds we never ended up doing, so I want to start with that. Let's see. I guess it doesn't really matter which one I start with. Let's start with this one. I know these weren't here before, and I know they're not here now, so. What's the first seed on here? All right. 2888. I also can't play without the music because playing this game without the music is weird. It just feels so odd. Even if you guys can't hear it, I can hear it.
I can barely hear it, but as it is, like I said about the main six, if they were given drunk enough, well, the only one I can say
Oh
again.
my goodness!
Oh,
That is that's a blue Mario if I've ever seen one.
oh, that's a keeper.
Well, you know it's good when you say it's a keeper. 2, 8, 8, 8.
The one is someone of the main six, how much it would require for him to even be drunk enough. I can say right now, Applejack is definitely the one that can hold her liquor even better than others. I mean, apple cider is normally is a can be alcoholic ones. That depends, but it's pretty funny how
Mario, get up there.
how this come on, open up. Take some time. Hey.
Alright, normal coin's green and red coin's brown. I can remember that.
But basically, Ryder's drink favorite would be strawberry margaritas. Her, in order to be drunk, only requires 4, and she would have been really flirtatious. Twilight, she would like curry or no sherry cocktails. She would really require three of those drinks, and she would be yaoi writer, like those type of erotic anime type style. Uh, Rainbow Dash, any kind of shot or drink that all require for her to be drunk enough. Um, for her, it takes six drinks in order for her to be even drunk enough. But she has this outrageously cookie cravings. Fluttershy, she doesn't drink anything. She can get only a half of a drink. She get super horny. I it's just like one. Applejack, she has no any particular favorite, and she can hold her liquor, but Pinky, according to this, um, to take her at least 10 drinks of the drink porn stars, which is an actual drink. For her, it takes, she gets really cold. Like she, as Spike says, incredible. You're wearing 12 shirts, jackets, 9 hoodies, 22 long sleeve leggings of shirts, 5 sets of leggings, 7 pairs of socks, 5 sweatpants, 3 3 layers of jeans, 3 jeans and a skirt, and you're still cold. I know that is it's pretty bad how Pinky reacted. Oh boy. As this game guy, you probably heard this urban legend that um, if a person who is trapped in an avalanche, a Saint Bernard, well, is wearing his carrying his like a container that contains whiskey or something. Have you heard of that?
I don't think I have actually.
Oh, well, it's really common urban legend. Is like in Switzerland or Schweiz. Let's say it's yes, it is urban legend. I did
I feel like
actually
this
see
is
this
something will
year.
happen.
I
Nah.
saw this years ago, and even about last year on YouTube. This is an urban legend. This was taking place in Canada. A guy was invited to a party, and he was asked to buy some of the drinks, like a lot of beers, and he did buy tons of beers. And while on the way to the party, he got tired, so he decided to pull over to the side of the road, and this was somehow middle of nowhere, like in a basically in a Canadian forest. So basically, what happened is that he fell asleep, and during that time, it was a lot of snow, and his car was, I, if I remember correctly, it was covered in almost, I, I think it was between 3 or 5 feet of snow. When he wakes up after his nap, he realized his car was completely covered, and he couldn't dig out himself because even though the car was probably between 3 or 5 feet in deep snow, and even the windows was very much covered, the only way he could consider to do, he did actually, I think he actually had 12 pack, 2 6-pack of beer in the passenger seat next to him. So instead, he decided to take one beer and another. So I think after 3 beers, he started getting he had to take care of number one business. So he couldn't just step out of the car and take care of that. So he opened the window, and luckily for him, the snow didn't pour in, but he started peeing on the snow and started melting. And he got this idea: why don't I just drink the remaining beer I have and pee on the snow to melt it in order to get away from it? So he did that. But do you think it actually worked?
No.
No, it didn't. Oh, by God. Um, well, technically, it wouldn't otherwise even work because alcoholic drinks makes you more dry out from the liquid water in your systems. And drinking beer like that, normally it's drain your, well, in the end, it turned to be just that urban legend. Bless you. What if Diamond Tiara was adopted by Filthy Rich and Spoiler Rich, but Starlight is her biological mother? Hmm. Well, I don't know, to
Who
be
would the
honest, though.
dad be then?
Um,
No, that's a good
well,
question, actually. Who would the dad be then in that situation?
well, I mean, if Diamond was, um, well, technically, he would have, Filter Rich and Spoil Rich would have been adopted parents, not blood related. Even though
No,
this,
I
the funny
mean,
thing is that,
if Star. What was the question again? Hold on, give me 1
what if Diamond Tiara was
second.
adopted by her, by Rich, Filter Rich and Spoil Rich, but Starlight is her biological mother? Um,
So the question then is, she's adopted by Filthy Rich and Spoiled Rich or whatever. Her mother's Starlight. So then my question is, who's her biological dad?
who knows? Yeah, and also another thing is if Diamond Tiara even knew about it, because most of the
Probably
time,
not.
yeah, she probably would have known, because just based on like say when uh,
I'll stick with that.
when she redeemed herself, when she stopped being a bully, for example, in that episode, how she was couldn't even talk back to her own mother. But if she had known that Phil the Rich wasn't even her biological mother, then maybe she would have easily say talk back to her. But it happens that some adopted children would not even know they are adopted until like their late teens, maybe like 15 or 18. But some can actually find out much earlier on, even as still as a kid also. But in this case, I don't think that even if she was being adopted in the series, I don't think she even had known. And we don't even know exactly how old those characters are. She could have been between 10 and 12, considering that she's still in the school age. And I mean, we don't even know exactly what grade where Miss Shirley is teaching. That school can be elementary, it could be in the middle school. I don't even know for, but assuming at least sometime between grade, I'd say between the first grade and to maybe fourth or fifth grade. But we don't know for sure. But Diamond Tiara as um and if that would have been the case that Diamond Tiara was adopted, well, most of the time is the most common when the a couple that's adopting is either they're too busy to have actually tried the natural way, or there might be some a medical issue. It could either be that filter rich can't have a can't make a baby, or spoiled rich can't have a baby herself. It can be that. Or maybe that's spoiler rich doesn't want to even go through the whole pregnancy process in the first place, like go through the labor and all that. Maybe that she doesn't. Some can say, I don't want to ruin my figure, as some women would say. That can also be it. But I mean, considering Diamond Tiara, if she was adopted by Filderich, um, here's some. Here's the thing. Um, if she would have those documents of her adoption may have been put in a safe, and that Filderich had intention to telling her when she's older, when she is old enough to understand. And if she asks who her real mother is, and even assuming from like this, even though those papers, adoption papers, doesn't mention who he, who is her who is her biological mother. Sometimes papers not necessarily having the names of the biological parents. Sometimes they could have been like an agreement between the adopted parents and the biological parents. And if it says her name, Star the Glimmer, in those papers, and I mean, here is another another issue what could happen. Say if if Diamond was adopted, and um, and eventually, let's say this, like say what if that Star Filterage and Spoilerage had tried to have a child, but they were unable for some time. Sometimes, sometimes it can take months and even years in even trying to have a baby. So if they had spent some time to try to have one, and they have no luck, so they decided to adopt a child, and some time after they adopted Diamond Spoiler Rich is pregnant. So here was the most common things can happen, like say um like who would inherit the business from Rich if they have an adopted daughter, and um and if they had um even have a child of their own even some time afterwards. So legally, or even most common sense, their biological child would be one been inherit the business. But it also but they mostly up to the parents who they want to they want to inherit the business. Other, but it's also possible that the both Diamond and her well sibling might work together and run the business together, and that's not uncommon either. Starlight Diamond had Diamond Tiara. Well, she was strong, but Starlight Glimmer doesn't know who she had to do it. Um, well, some might assumed at least that the Sunburst could have been the father. Um, there are in fact even some common theories that um, uh, Sunset Shimmer and Sunburst are actually siblings. Uh, Cody, why do I see a second one of you in the backstage?
Eh?
Yeah, I see two of Cody in the backs, and one is already in the inner stream, one is in the back stream, in the backstage. And he says, "My PC being dumb again." um, anyone
Your
ever heard of
PC's
a company
apparently
called?
your PC's lagging so badly it learned how to duplicate yourself.
Not the first time. Has anyone heard of the company called Rooster Teeth?
You okay?
um,
That's an excellent name, I'll tell you that.
Cody, I
Yeah,
have.
Mario.
I have heard about it. I actually seen there's
Oh,
is one kind of parody show where this group of um
okay.
this Bravo team are are fighting ghosts with machine guns and all
Uh,
that.
can do
That was
that.
called Fear or
Next month,
something.
I probably
It
could.
had been a while. How would drunk Starlight act if she was drunk? Oh, well, Robert, that's is nearly impossible to tell for its precise. I have mentioned how people can act when they're drunk before. I mean, there are a few ways that one, she can be in the most common ones are that if she's so drunk that she's, you know, so tired so that she literally falls asleep.
Ah, well.
And two is that she gets really flirtatious. And three is that she gets, well, um, kind of the same thing as flirtatious, but also um, really horny, which is not that like uncommon. And the fourth is the one that probably is one that you don't want you want to be near of a drunk person, which is when they are violent. Sometimes drunk people can be violent, and that is a common thing because that is another thing about it. Being so drunk, it's unpredictable how people can be. In fact, I don't even know how I don't even know how I could be if I was that drunk. In fact, I never even been so that completely wasted myself. In my family, it's only one my brother and sister. My parents has been drunk enough, but I had even been maybe just tips about it, but not even on the not even not considered as drunk. But Starlight, mm, you know, it's very difficult to tell. Actually, it's. I mean, she might have been maybe flirtatious, perhaps. Oh, speaking of,
I could use like
I saw
that,
this on
but
YouTube even a year ago, and even a year before that. This is actually a comic up video. Um, Applejack and Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy are at the Sweet Apple Acres after the annual um, apple cider celebration, or how
there we go.
is um, where um, Fluttershy is talking to Big Macintosh or Big Mac, where he's just normal drinking his cider when she is acting a bit strange. She is in her flirtatious face when she is completely drunk. At the end, she asks if he wants to go to bed with her, and that makes him choking on the drink, a desire almost spit out. And Rainbow Dash and even Applejack seeing this, and even Rainbow Dash ask if she got the 5% cider. And Applejack, Applejack looks one of the barrels and says, no, she get the 50% cider. And Rainbow Dash like, that explains it. So yeah, another thing about it, how like Pink Fluttershy is definitely would have been act like that, considering that how she is normal is. She's a very shy, timid character. And what is her opposite side if she's drunk? Well, maybe more flirtatious. And Applejack, well, she might be the only one that can actually hold her liquor strong enough. Um, but Rainbow, if she's drunk enough, I am bad to say that she might just simply be more as She might not even be this either. She might not even be flirtatious or. But I have to say that um, Rainbow might simply be more. Could be more. How to say um more kind of like more adventures that he probably would challenge Applejack into arm wrestling, as an example. But we don't even know for sure. I mean, since this is a kid show, so it is. Oh wow, that's a great Mario. So yeah, we don't know how the main six would act, and not even along with even Starlight. So we don't even know how she could act. But I think maybe that she could have been maybe flirtatious, but depends also how flirtatious she is. Do you think Flurry Heart and Lasted Dawn would have been a good couple? Hmm. Well, considering at least that Lasted Dawn is born sometimes after some years after Flurry Heart, and considering in the last problem episode, Lasted Dawn looks to be I had to assume that she's either between 18 and 20s, and
Is there my
in a
content
Flurry
there?
Heart,
Yep.
and a Flurry
Alright.
Heart herself at the time
Last.
in that episode might even be also in her early to mid 20s. So I think Flurry Heart and Lassie Dawn might actually work as a couple, as an idea, even though Flurry Heart will be even older than Lassie Dawn herself. But I think it can actually work. I just don't know though. But I think it can actually work. But I haven't actually talked to Five Goddess about it, but I think she might agree on that one. Um, yeah, drunks can make people abusive. That's for sure, Cody. Violence and even abusive. But it also does some people who can actually be drunk enough, they simply under can simply pass out as well. There are those people that actually doesn't have much an effect on. Some just simply pass out of being so drunk. There is actually one fan made video of an older Spike who is visiting an older Rarity, and that she offered him some uh, a glass of wine, which he, pretty much almost tells her, "This is how wine tastes like." Yeah, and if anyone asks me if I drink wine, I would immediately say, no. I would never even want to try drinking wine ever again. I remember I tried wine once, but this was during when I was 14 or 15. But this was when I doing this confirmation when I was in church. But this was like a non-alcoholic version of the wine, red wine. But yeah, trust me, it tastes so bad. I ugh. So wine itself is one thing I never wanted to drink. But but of the main six, what they prefer to drink, well, hmm, well, okay, three
Just mention
characters.
it.
Yeah, sorry. Of the three of the characters is easily to determine what he likes. Applejack and Rainbow definitely will drink are more like apple cider. Rarity, well, she is more into wine. She is more like the wine type. After all, Wine is more for, you know, typically upper class or more fine society people. And since Rarity prefer to be more like a lady, and those that means that Rarity would be more info wine, Applejack and Rare and Rainbow are for um, more like for apple cider. But what about the rest of the main six? Um, I won't even know though. But I can probably see maybe um Twilight might be well I can also see Rarity as for tea. I mean she usually had drink tea throughout the series before, so but unless from that I would say um for I would see that for Twilight, for her. Hmm. If it's like a non-alcoholic drink, mm, maybe a pop soda like Coke, Pepsi, something like that, maybe. Applejack, sorry, Fluttershy. No, that's more easier to choose from. She might either pick from tea or juice, more likely. Um, Pinky, not a difficult from that. It might be like say, I had to say something like a pop soda as well. I mean, that what I think can uh, work out for that. How would Shining Armor react if Twilight let Flurry Hard watch the Family Guy in South Park? Um, if you're like referring to when she was look babysitting Flurry Heart in that when she was as a baby, oh, considering that
Well,
Flurry,
got this.
that
There we go.
I would have to say both are well, let's say are big no go as a big no no. Considering there are
Hmm.
tons of swearing in South Park. But Family Guy, mm, I mean, there aren't like that many swearing, bad language in Family Guy, unlike in South Park. But some of the comedy in Family Guy are usually more for mature audience, since after all there are more like mature contents in the series. But um, Shining Armor would have been might have been upset on his sister if he find out that Flurry had been watching
Hmm.
South Park.
No, no, that's
Es-
not crap. What I see.
Especially when they're using some bad language and sometimes even using
Just in case.
not only the bad language but also some slang words or slurring words like if they would not be using not like the N word but something talking bad on certain uh, people of different backgrounds. It had been something like that in the past, but I don't know for sure. But South Park, if Shining Armor find out about that, he wouldn't have been happy about it. That I can guarantee on that. Um, Family Guy, um, maybe he might have been upset, but since they're not that much, since there's a complete difference between Family Guy and South Park. But if there was, say, Family or South Park or The Mask, the one that Jim Carrey played as in this animated series. So I had to say the animated The Mask would have been perfect, more better choice. I mean, it's a kid show with no swearing and all that, but more complete, more uh, how to say not bad, but it was more like um how to say, oh man, what was I supposed to say? Even like shenanigans. That was the word that was what I was looking for. But yeah, I don't think Shining Armor or Cadence in the case would even been happy if they find out that Furry Heart been watching South Park. I don't think if that was my kid and um yeah, let's say I would have not been happy at all. Family Guy, well that depends. I mean it hasn't since they're not the same type of humor in the same as the South Park, even though there are some swear words in Family Guy, but not as much as South Park I would think. And Family Guy do in fact have some episodes that are really too much a bit for mature audience, but some of the jokes in that series might actually could be harmless for even for young kids. But Family Guy would have been on the. I had to say, Family Guy would have been on the edge of being okay and no okay type. But South Park, it's I had to say that would have been off limits. But then about the Simpsons. Well, the Simpsons, it's
Mm.
not that many. That's another one that's a more I think might work. I mean, it's not that much swear words in that, but if it was Simpsons, there is one of those episodes I that Flurry Heart would not be one thing would have been forbidden to even to watch. That would have been the Treehouse horror specials. So those are the ones on the Simpsons that they she might not even been allowed to see. And honestly though, I hadn't even seen Family Guy much less on TV anymore. Simpsons, not much either, since honestly though, I kind of lost interest in Simpsons. Not the same. South Park, no, that's a show I haven't seen like on TV in years, and I like him not in see it. Since Family Guy is well, some of the episodes are pretty good. Some are make no sense, especially the Star Wars parody version. I mean, yeah, it's just um, Rooster Teeth have been shut down by Warner Bros. In March, and that the death battle will still continue on his Cody Hope. Um, well, that might be true. They were actually also another series that was called Red and Blue. There was this soldiers fighting against each other. I don't think I've seen that one. Rooster Teeth is a program. Um, according to Wikipedia, it says here, um, they announced the company was shut down, but the process was expected to take several months. So who knows? So yeah, I really have no idea for any of that. And they even had made games, like video games. Huh? I didn't know that. Oh, apparently they also have an actor in their among their staff, which they um cut ties with apparently for accusations of sexual harassment, which I wasn't aware of though, honestly. Uh, uh, but there is one series that were part of this. What was it called again? I think it was Ruby. This anime series. I really haven't seen the anime on that series at all, but yeah, there are many. If Twilight played video games, what type of gamer would she be? Would she be a casual or does she want to be in like a or be as one of those competition? Oh,
I'd probably say
um,
casual.
yeah, same here. I don't think that she. I don't think I cannot. I don't. I can't see her as this. Um, this. I don't. I mean, I can't see Twilight as this a big gamer, but it also depends on what type of games she would play. But I think she might have been playing a lot of I don't know, more like adventure type of games, maybe Mario, something like that. But casual, yes. Um, let's see here. What about the other main six? Well, I can see right now, Applejack and Rainbow Dash might be more. Um, they might be more like this. Be competition and more like fighting games or challenge games, like racing games or Street Fighter or Smash Brothers, Smash Bros, some of that type of games. I think more like Applejack and Rainbow might be competitionable. Um, what about the others of the main six? Pinky, well, that's it. I mean,
Party
that is
games.
really
Come
party games,
on.
and
She'd be into
yeah,
party games.
yeah, she will like that, and I don't think also she might be um more like casual player, more like a casual gamer. Fluttershy, okay, about out animal games like Animal Crossing. Um, and she will not be this more like also casual gamer, is without a doubt. Um, but if you were looking for the outside the main six, like say Starlight, um, she might be more like for puzzle games, maybe racing games, but I think she might be more like casual gamer. I think Trixie might also be more for maybe racing games, like Mario Kart, something like that. I think um I would have to say um Trixie might be in a between casual gamer and a winning for competition. I think she might be in a between. Considering in the past how she was competing herself against Twilight to be better in Magic. And I think might that Trixie might be in the mix between casual and competitional. And what about say what about the other princesses? What would they be for type of games? Um, well, as this is just a gag. Oh, like say this how to say as it's um, Celestia had usually been describing crazy for kids. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was in would if Celestia would have been this casual gamer when it comes to uh, cooking or baking games. And the game crashed.
Yep, it crashed. Well, actually, it froze, but that's
Oh,
technically the same thing.
what
Crash
about
froze.
Luna?
It stopped the game. So,
If Luna would be a player as a gamer, what type of gamer would she be? Casual or competitionist? Honestly though, what do you think?
well, I think competitive.
Hmm, that might make sense. Makes sense. And what type of games do you think she will play?
Well, I mean, there's not many of them, but I'm thinking like space-related video games.
Mm, and is this um as this oh wow, Blueberry Mario.
That's an excellent
Ah, it's
Mario
just
right
great.
there. I just gonna put that on the list real quick.
Um, but there is this one type of Celestia, which is called molestia, which is molesting ponies or like that. But in that type of fan made series of MLP based, there is this one. Luna is very much where she Derpy and Molestia and the main six playing DF TF2. If you know what that type of game is, but and also that she was also mentioned in that series, and she mentioned that Luna also liked to play Call of Duty. So I think Luna would likely might have to be a competitional, and that she might even play games like maybe like a shooting game or racing games, like more like compete against other people or opponents, and yeah, I think that might would be Cadence. Well, I think that she might be more like romance type of games. And if Flurry Heart was old enough to play video games, as a kid, hmm, okay, as a kid for Flurry Heart, at least old enough to understand what's of how to even to play a video game. But I think as a kid, she might be more as for uh, racing games, adventure games, mystery games, like for exploring, like Dora Explorer, uh, something like that type of games. And when she is maybe a teenager, might be but as a kid, she might just be a casual gamer. But as a teenager, hmm, she might be more in for maybe fighting games like Street Fighter or something like that. And I think as a teenage Flurry Heart, she might be in between casual and competitional type of gamer. But as a young adult, maybe like in her 20s, well, she might be competitional. And I think maybe she could have been interested in playing like uh, big games, like Call of Duty or maybe Smash Bros. Like those where can involve several other people in the games. I think that might be interesting for Flurry Heart. Um, what about Spike? What do you think about him?
Hmm, not sure.
Yeah, I really don't know. Um, but I have to say, for Spike as a character, or as a gamer, as a young one, still as a baby dragon, I think him more like casual gamer. But as in the last episode, when he's older, maybe more in between casual and competitional one. But he might be for like those maybe racing games like that, mystery maybe. But for our friends, myself, I was a casual gamer, and but type of games I play, I would say, if I play myself, that was a Battleship, easy. Um, but yeah, I prefer to say racing games, something like that, maybe Street Fighter, and for Kubo, that's easy. More like I think casual and a uh lot of Lion King based games, MLP, something like that. And for Malachite, uh, I think he might be. I would say maybe that he's more like a
Racing
competitional.
games.
Yeah, and I think Malachite might be competition. Be comparing. Be I can talk today. Competitional, and he might be for more like adventure, mystery type of games. Maybe like when it involves dragons. I don't even know if World of Warcraft would have been something for him, but I might say other maybe shooting games like Call of Duty or something like that. But I don't even know. Well, why don't you ask you? Because he's here actually.
Yeah, listening in the entire time.
I know. I know that, Mr. Joker.
Whatever, Mr. Muppet.
But what would you be? Would you be a casual, competitional, and what type of game would you play?
Well, I used to play Train Simulator. It's a pretty good fun game. Although
Hmm.
I would say I think they could use some nearly every steam locomotive. They need one that's Great Britain and US combined. Every steam locomotive class that was American and UK, every there's a couple of diesel engines from the US and UK, maybe and just and they also need custom a custom coloration station. Like you can buy a model and actually color and customize it yourself with a road number, what railroad and such, and even choose its whistle.
Hmm.
Like I need one of those games.
Yeah, it might make sense. I mean, since and okay, I know for you will probably agreed on this one. Celestia, casual, and she might be one of those who wants to play games where it involves baking or cooking.
Hmm. I
I mean,
actually could see her.
considering that,
I actually could see her being an Animal Crossing gamer like Fluttershy.
yeah, I don't know, Fluttershy is I can see more when it comes to like animals. And but do you think that both uh,
He
Rainbow and
snuck.
Applejack,
Get up here.
but do you think that both Applejack and Rainbow are would consider still as compatible, uh, be those fighting in competition against each other in like say street fights or street fighting or even racing games? I think at least of those type of but Discord, hmm, that wouldn't even be that difficult. He like me more like competitional, definitely. I can say that. But what type of games he will play? Huh? Maybe like Smash Bros. I don't know, but he will be
Little
definitely
was
be
a
more
weird.
like a competitional in the games. I guess at least I can see that though. Derpy, okay, Derpy. So if she will more like she will be a casual
Animal
gamer.
Crossing. I would also say Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I had to say that or taking.
Ooh,
After all,
ooh,
as
or or pinball.
pinball, bowling, but
Paintball.
yeah,
How would she even do it? She's got the
I mean,
class dice.
yeah, I guess okay. I had to. Okay, I no, I had may have to change that verdict. Animal Crossing and any type of uh sports games like bowling, darts, maybe it's like
Mini
those
golf. What
pinball.
about
Yeah, tennis perhaps.
mini golf?
Maybe. Yeah, I think more like any Easter sports, and who cannot forget baking. I mean, throughout in this series and as fan made stories and of how Derpy is crazy for muffins.
Actually,
So,
I would like to see Derby play a zoo simulator because I think that'd be actually pretty better for her concern her of her cross eyes.
oh,
Come on,
Crossed
dude.
eyes.
English.
Oh, speaking of, I think for Fluttershy, Animal Crossing, and maybe as even Zoo Simulation, or even a Zoo game. But I think even Fluttershy would probably even play some games that's um, maybe I wouldn't say fine games or anything. More like maybe mystery, like solving puzzles, riddles. Oh, that would have been definitely for Cat. That would be definitely for that Discord. He would definitely be the compatible uh type of gamer, and he would definitely were like making games or what it involves riddles and puzzles, especially
Mm.
riddles. That would have been definitely his character.
For for the CMC, I could see him playing the Namco Museum PS2 one with the regular arcade games and the arrangement games. I can see Skulu being a
Yeah,
pro Doug arrangement.
and for Sakura, he might more be more like casual gamer. I can say
No,
right
no,
now.
no. Ooh, it, I honestly would have said the Harry Potter games.
Yeah, that I mean, she might even be more
Harry
like casual.
Potter.
Maybe,
Fuck you.
maybe competitional. That depend on if depends on what type of game she's playing. But I also think that you might even like to play games where it involves, say, making potions.
Mm.
But I mean, there are in fact some games like that. So I wouldn't say that she wouldn't be much for that type of games. CMC, hmm, okay, that's not that difficult. Um, Scootaloo,
I just
definitely,
think which one Skulu could be good at. Namco Museum with the Dig Dug arrangement board and
yeah.
Galaxia the arrangement
Mm,
or
but
Galaxian,
other,
however you say it.
yeah, but I can also see that maybe that the Scootaloo would definitely enjoy some sports games,
NASCAR.
NASCAR, maybe even Street
That's also a good
Fighter,
one for the Wonderbolts.
or even archery. I think she would like bowling and archery type style.
Golf.
Um,
I
golf,
wouldn't. I wouldn't say basketball per se, but maybe golf as well.
Oh
maybe
my
handball,
goodness.
maybe handball. For and for Sweetie Belle, I think she's more like casual, maybe competitional. That depends on one, but I can see her more like um karaoke, sing along type of games,
Oh my god,
music
stop
style.
telling me this stupid.
Guitar Hero for the
Oh
CMC.
yeah, that I can see her more into music type of games, and of course I would say maybe uh racing games. They depend if she's playing against her friends. Maybe some sports depends, like bowling. But I think mostly Sweet Belle more like to be for music type of games, and she could have been casually, but even also be competitional. Depends on what if she's doing if she's playing some games against her friends. Apple Bloom, yeah, that wouldn't even be much as a hard choice. That might be something like also Animal Crossing, maybe some other type of games. So I think it listed that. What other characters have been even to choose from? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Cake. Um, um, I've had to say actually either I had to say that both Mr. and Mrs. Cake might even be both casual and competitional gamer, and I have to say that they were more likely to be in cooking and baking type of games. I mean, I would have to say that. But what about Diamond Tiara? Mm, she might be casual, and I can almost like say right now that she might be a fashionable within fashion type of games, including Silver Spoon and even Rarity. Rarity, I might think her see I can see her doing some maybe mostly fashion types of basic games and maybe even Animal Crossing. Who knows? I think at least that variety is a type of games, but I don't know if she. I don't think variety would even play like say Call of Duty or something like that. I mean, after all, she's a lady, and ladies don't play that type of games. Normal though, but yeah, I think something like that.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I mean, considering that, and but okay. How about Chrysalis? What do you think about her?
She's a mediocre.
I mean,
You asked what I
what do you
thought
think?
about her, and I gave you my answer with Mario for some reason.
I mean, what do you think? Casual competitional gamer?
Like I said, she's probably mediocre at video games. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Probably competitive, or I'd say competitive.
Yeah, I think so too. And she might like try to play games where you can conquer stuff. I think even the same thing as for Opalite. Same thing. For other characters, I think the same thing as even
There.
for what about Tirek? Compatible? Yes, definitely on that part. Um,
There we go.
what type of games? Maybe conquering. I wouldn't even be surprised if they would enjoy some shooting games like Call of Duty or something. I mean, considering the base, I mean, considering of the main some of the LOP characters, if they were play games, but yeah, there are many characters. But I better say, Sunburst, he will be more likely a casual gamer. And what type of games? Well, mystery. Can I imagine? puzzle, and learning games for
Mario.
something like that. Hmm. Oh, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Flufflepuff, this fan made MLP character. This how to describe it? This big pink uh furry character who can talk, who is only making fart sounds with his own tongue, and who is really much in love with Chrysalis. Um, if she would play games, I might have to say a casual gamer, and she would love any romance games and even maybe adventure type of games. But it's a little bit difficult to say. But of all the characters of the main MLP characters, I mean, okay, Lyra Heartstrings, she might actually be, could be both actually, if depending on she is. Um, Magical type theme based games, definitely. Sweet Drops or Bonbon. Hmm. Considering that she used to be a secret agent of a Smile Agency, what that is called, if she was still as a secret agent, she probably would have liked games based on like James Bond, mystery, adventures, something like that. But as herself, hmm, no, that's a good question. I really don't know. It's, I mean, it's a bit hard to tell that in that part, but I mean, she's an Earth pony, and I really don't know, huh? Huh. I really don't know though. Coasting low. Okay, that's is the answer. Compatible and conquering. But oh man,
Bottom of the mountain.
tired.
So I guess I'll just do this.
Ay. By the way, Malaka, your story is almost done. So you know, it might be finishing sometimes this night. Ay. But yeah. What else to talk about? I don't even know.
What?
Well, we can talk about. How about talk about Game Guy's non-existent love life?
Don't worry, I know all about it.
Have by the way, have you guys ever heard anything from Diana? By the way,
I haven't heard a thing.
Neither have I for a while. The last thing I ever heard and remembered of her was when she subscribed to my new channel as a new account of her own.
hmm,
That was a
and
couple months ago.
yeah, and that was the last time I heard from her. Was also about a couple of months ago when she made her last appearance in one of my streams. Actually, that was the last time I even heard from her. I don't think even Roy has heard from her at all. By the way, Malaka,
Oh,
have
that's
you
got her.
been in the been there and been watching the stream from the start?
Not really.
Okay, because we were originally planning to do this game stream about Pokemon since, but yeah, might do it tomorrow. So you know,
Uh,
I mean that depends if you can, of course. If not,
I'm
well,
more.
that then That and if depends also on how many people will show up. Cody was actually here earlier, but he's still echoing despite that. So
Yeah, I saw the
he,
big. Yeah, I saw the big hairy Elvis Smurf was in here earlier.
yeah, Colleen also here, but he
Hmm.
he left this after his laptop was acting up. He showed up like a, a duplicate of himself, which is not like unheard of. Uh, but yeah. But like I said, your story is almost done. Um, in the story, in the text that you did gave me, but say, I think, what was it, maybe 1 or 2 months ago, a list of what you want to have in a story, and and since basically upon recently what the story you gave me, that was the one of few reasons why I was like confused in some of the ideas didn't actually match up.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
mean,
whoa, whoa, Mario, Mario, calm down.
considering that was at least 1 or 2 months apart from each when we talked about it, and I had kept as much as possible from for the one that you wanted me to do, but
I
some of
mean,
them
I
actually
think when I started sharing the info, you would have had it like written down immediately.
I did save the first time you that one I did mention that you did gave me in a document, but I did find it and when you gave me some ideas later on, some of the ideas didn't match up from the first one. It easy to understand if you might have forgotten some of those details or maybe came up with some even better, which also explains some of that. And I don't see anything wrong if you come up with some even better. In the part where you said um, that he calls for an ambulance, I kind of not add that
Well,
part in.
the the bit about that was I figured Shine was about to was about to call an ambulance for her, but I figured Malachi will rush her to the hospital immediately
Yeah, I kind of a little bit added
because
since
he told Shine and he understands Malachi's feelings for her.
yeah, I kind of added the change in that part where Malachite uh, puts Celestia in a wagon and hooked him there to himself and takes off to the hospital. Um,
It was supposed to be him carrying her. I figured
yeah, I
he
know I
carrying her
might have changed
from
that.
the
Yeah,
one.
but I did keep it as much as possible as you asked for. But I did some minor changes, and in one of them in the beginning that you said that they had, I made her and I made them as childhood friends, and um, that he had been in love with Celestia for 10 years, and that his family runs a candy store, and that he hasn't
Why
even been.
10 years?
I don't. I think as soon as you wanted them to be immortal as an alicorn. I mean, after all, he looks like one.
Mm,
And that, but I also mentioned in the start of the stories that he wasn't present in Canterlot while the rest of in the story began. He only returned from his journey or his travels. He had been traveling around in the world, and that Celestia were actually dating, well, not officially dating someone else in the beginning. That they did actually meet official because that would have happened sometimes after, but that he died in an accident after that he went to see some relatives in Manhattan where he saved a filly from being overrun by a taxi. I thought that maybe actually can work as a part of the story to make because like I said to you that I also add some of my own ideas in this. to make the story more longer as possible, as you requested for. Um, Originally, I thought maybe just making the story around 55 minutes long, but it isn't that anymore. Right now, it's about 1 hour 17 minutes, but I
At least
might
that sounds
say it might even be longer than that. I think maybe around say 20, maybe 25 minutes. It depends. Um, but I kept as much as possible as the original ideas that you asked for, and of course some minor changes that depend on what happened. But I did kept um, the dance club scene, and that he proposed to her in a boat. Well, um, and they have been together for 4 years when he asked her.
Why did you ground pound in front of the star? What are you doing? Oh, you gotta get out of here.
But I can always just change the story as much as because you can, because despite I have all the other um where is it? Um, but the scenes that you think about her being
Thank you.
attacked by those stallions, I did kept that, and also that how you said with those big capital letters, I did put that in the story as well. Well, not in capital letters, but smaller. Um, and that she also ended up in a coma for 3 months, and that Malachite went to see her every single day. And I also meant, as a part of the story, that you said um, how he was accused of
Falsely.
falsely accused of being kidnapping Celestia, and that how because she was to spend night at his place, but how then somehow she went up in her own room at the castle,
Mm-hmm.
and that because since you'd said in the requested that one of those stallions escaped, had was the one who saw Celestia with Malachite. But
But
I decided,
it was the same one who shot him the day he was carrying that cheesecake to Fleur de Lis's
oh,
house.
oh shoot, that I didn't add in that way that you wanted.
That was yeah that was him. I said it was the same one that shoved him that day.
Uh, well, I didn't actually I didn't put it that way some you asked for. Um, I did mean that's the day after
You can
he
just say what I did.
in the one way that
What?
Celestial was that Malachite was arrested
Okay.
for
To go get
accused of
that.
being kidnapping her. Um, is that stallion was one of those three stallions that uh tried to rob her from her necklace and the crown. Um, since you didn't actually,
Can I
since those three
reach this
were
from up
their tails
here? I can
was
get it from over
tied
there, but
together.
I want to do something cool.
Um,
Yeah,
since
If I jump
wait,
from up
you
I had
didn't,
them
here.
tie their tails together and then
yeah, I did
pound them
put,
before
yeah, I put
spinning
that.
around a lot and then throwing them into the baskets.
Oh, oh man, that was a different change. That as well. Yeah, I made that Malachite once they thrown in a basket.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, my
Okay.
It was a
mistake.
it was a
Okay.
stack of it was
Okay.
a big old stack of
Okay.
baskets at
Okay.
a
Okay.
basket stand.
Yeah, but I also,
That
but
didn't work. Alright.
since you didn't mention about what's actually happened since after 3 months after this.
I
Um,
I wrote down the
No,
details as
no,
best I could.
you no, you didn't tell me exactly what happened those three afterwards. Those three stallions. Did you?
They were well within stealing trying to steal her crown and necklace. I would have
Yeah, but
sentenced
yeah.
to about 50 years in jail, in prison.
Uh, I don't have that in my text, um, but I made so that at least one of them escaped, but was later found because he was the one who informed or at least accused of that Celestia was
But
kidnapped.
then, like, I know what's going on here.
Um,
What if he put makeup on and covered up his old appearance?
uh,
And the guards didn't recognize him.
well, that could work, but that's I have at least oh screw my ass, but I just noticed at least so many ideas that you asked me to do,
7
like
with 8.
a beach picnic and volleyball. Oh, screw
Hey,
me! I
Star.
never put those in. Oh man, but I haven't. I
But him
haven't actually.
and him proposing to her at the club with DJ Vinyl announcing the proposal was the idea.
Oh well, I did put a dance club at that. But he didn't propose to her there. But I did say that he requested for a song which they played where they danced together. But I mean, I thought if I might have simply forget about that part, but you asked for the proposal there. But I thought when I did mention that to you that he could take her in this boat ride in the evening for a picnic and with fireflies, that reminded me of from Little Mermaid.
6, 6,
How
6,
that was
6, 6.
would have been more perfect scene for a proposal.
Hmm.
And I think that's might work even better than asking doing it like a dance like that. And even so, but I have not worked on the kids yet. I mean, I hadn't even
Well,
had even.
don't change any of their ideas because I'd like them to be this exact.
Well, I might do some, but depends. Like, I hadn't even gone so far in the story yet. I mean, I won't. Uh, yeah, but I won't change their number of kids that they have. But I might just do
Don't
some
forget that coin.
slight change. But it some. Um, I wouldn't say too many changes to Malachite. I'm just saying I might just make the part of the story about them longer, not shorter. I might just simply add something more different, more some of my own ideas, but also about those kids. And he left earlier on. Great, that happened.
What happened?
Well, Malachi's left. He's probably pissed.
Eh,
Well, it's my fault. So let's just. Do you think 12 would beat a video game 100% complete? Well, Robert, got out. Yes. Well, that depends on what type of game it is. I don't think she would even try to do as all those horror type of games, like jump scares. Nope. Oh, that reminds me. I saw this video on YouTube. A guy was playing this jump scare, even though he wasn't even aware of that. Um, when this exorcist girl character appeared on the screen, he was so Well, he freaked out and he smashed his hand right through the computer screen, like little right through it. And it was like this flat screen. And when he stood up, he was so scared that he had pissed himself. I was just, yeah. I mean, if I had known about if I played that type of game, if I wanted to know it was a jump scare, I probably would have got scared. But if I knew it was a jump scare based on the design, I wouldn't be that scared much. Even though I knew it's gonna happen, but not exactly when. Excuse me. Ooh. Assuming Roy is at the
In the
gym.
Mario. Yeah, Roy's at the gym.
In Twilight and Starlight True Love, can you have the wedding be on a yacht? Whoa. Whoa. Um Actually, that is it's a very unique idea since I never even came up with that idea myself, but I will do this. Um Knowing having a marriage of the MLP characters in on a yacht, I I do not understand
Hmm.
why I never even came up with that. I mean, I've always done it under Sweet Apple Lakers, Canterlot, Crystal Empire, Ponyville, but never on actually on like a yacht or or any other uh places. That was close.
That's not why I gasped, but just had an idea. What if, and hear me out, I'm not sure if Malachi wants you to do it or not, but I had an idea. What if, okay, so what did Malachi want? Where did Malachi want uh Celestia and her and himself to get like proposed and whatever? Because I was like half paying attention to what was going on. And I heard something like that. I don't know. So what did he want it to happen? Like a dance or whatever? I think that's where he wanted to do it. What if you had the dance inside of like, I don't know, like a, or maybe you could like have them go on a train or something like that to get them to the dance area. So that Malcolm could be like, oh my god, that's a cool idea. Take a train to the dance area and stuff. See, that would be a good change and stuff. That fits what Valentine likes and it would fit the story. Look at that. You'll come up with these good ideas on your own. It's just what happens sometimes. You're playing Mario Randomizer and you just come up with these things. Oh, that's a stroke of genius right there. Of course, I don't know if you want to do that or not, or if Malachi wants you to do that or whatever. It's his story, not mine, but whatever. It's an idea. Keep it in the back of your head. Who knows? Maybe you'll
Yeah, probably.
do that.
But yeah, having Starlight and Twilight there waiting on a yacht, that's is an approach that I never even considered in the past.
Hmm.
But I might
Definitely.
actually think that was not that bad. That is not a bad idea. I know for a fact that I've seen a lot of from TV series and even movies where some weddings have been either been held at the beach or even on a yacht or how I say it in space. Like there have been some this proposed idea having space weddings in orbit on our own planet. Well, that the concept is unique, but also you really need a lot of cash for that. I heard it can cost up to like 100,000 or maybe 200,000 or more. I think it's between 200 or more.
Really? Okay.
I think I think it was around under 200 or $500,000 if you had to even just be a normal tourist, a space tourist in order to visit the space station. Froze?
Yep.
But
And now it's not getting on the right thing. Hold on a second. There it goes.
but yeah. Um but that having to get married on a yacht is actually not a bad idea. I will definitely use that in a story because I even screenshotted that as a for a future idea. But yeah. But
Four,
for
five, six.
Malachite, I'm sorry if I did say that I will do some changes in the kid's story, part of the story. What I meant, I won't change your part of the idea, but I will add some of my own ideas in the story in that about them. Let's just say I will keep yours, but I will add some of my own, just to make the story a bit longer and also more interesting. But that's what I meant.
Somebody. Oh my
And
goodness.
wow,
That's
chocolate,
bad.
chocolate,
It's a
chocolate
very
apple
interesting
pear,
Mario.
chocolate,
No,
chocolate
it's mint
apple.
chocolate.
Okay, mint Mario.
I knew it was possible. That looks a little
And
more red, brown on my end than just brown, but yeah.
yeah, and yellow hair, at least the back. So
It's a very unique looking Mario, I'll tell you that.
I wonder what numbers it would require to make him whole complete one solid almost the same entire color in the game. Like
Well,
make him
technically, at one point, I forget what number it was. We actually the first color that had the entire body kinda was yellow. It was like a little bit differently shaded yellow. Like it was like some was brighter, some was like lighter yellow, but basically everything was yellow. So I guess yellow was the first time we got a fully colored Mario. I also forget what seed it was. It could be any of these. We have a lot of seeds.
hmm,
Mario, please get that.
yeah, that makes
Thank
sense.
you. I love how this Mario looks. It's so good.
Well, I might end the stream when we reach 2 hours and 25 minutes or so.
Oh wait, no, I have to go to the aquarium. All right. I want to at least finish up all these seeds, though. Literally only one left. No, that is definitely red. So it's red and green. Getting a good look at them, yeah, that looks more red than brown. It's like a reddish
Okay, how
brown
about
kind of.
if you made? I mean, if you somehow made Mario's clothes red even his face was red, while the head. Okay, what if like say the whole him is completely red except the hair is green? That will like wow, that's a walking tomato.
Or walking apple.
True, that works the same. Or if
And
he
that
made
fell
it
off. Okay.
or if you made him completely orange, like, well, that's a complete orange Mario, or even Mandarin or Clementine, or if it was complete yellow with a green top, the really banana Mario, or even blue, I really like Blueberry Mario. If you even somehow made this looks like if it was like peach color, that would have been like Peach Mario, the son of Peach and Mario.
Pichio.
Oh yeah, that would be a good thing. How would Starlight react if Twilight got a chocolate T-Rex the size of the castle? Uh, like, uh, like, like a what?
I know how
If
she would
you,
react. She would say, "Where did you even get that from in the first place?"
well, yeah.
That's a very good question.
I mean, if even if he's referring to actually an actual um uh, you know chocolate figure, or even this one like somehow alive. I mean,
Well, the
like you
question,
said,
well, my question would still stand then. It'd still be, where did you even get that from?
hmm
Like, did you make it? Did you find it? Where did you find it? If you did find it, like what? 5 stars. I love this Mario, by the way. It's so good. In fact, it's so good. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make the number super big. And by super big, I mean like not big at all. Four
huh? Malachi said on
and
Discord
six.
that he didn't want any of their jobs changed because I fought good and hard about the jobs, and I don't want to. And if you make a good change for them, do the number of kids, because that is one change I don't mind with them. Um, what I'm referring to, I wasn't going to change their occupation for type of jobs at all, or even number of kids. What I was referring to is I might do some changes in some of this part of that in like adding some of my own details, just to make their part of the story a bit longer and more interesting. Like say if that and I can give an example, like say if one of the sons named uh, Majestic Magic, which is one of it who became a Twilight student. I couldn't make in the part of that he is still her student, and that they I could make this a different change. Is that in the summer times that she and him are camping outside of Ponyville in order to study the stars, like studied astronomy or something like that. I mean, that's what I meant. I like some more details in the stories to make them more, at least, more exciting. Otherwise, the story would have been your average bland story. I didn't try to make you pissed off, Malachite, at all. What I meant, like I said, I just want to add some of my own ideas so to make the story a little bit more exciting. I never even had intention to change their occupation at all. Since I even haven't even gone so far, I just want to make this part of the story a little bit longer so that be more interesting in the reading. I had even the only thing is I have not added in the story yet is the music. That part will be the last I add in. In the past, I always added the music right away, almost right away after I start doing the text, but not anymore. I always add the music to the very last. I always do. It's just I kind of get very distracted if I had the music playing while making a text or something. So that is always the thing that I add the last in the story. But and even though that
Well,
Robert had asked, and a lot of stories that Robert asked me what to be audio, I had also mentioned this before that most of the stories that are based on MLP,
Oh,
despite
yeah, I
if
go.
it's an MLP,
Go check it out.
um, despite if there's a true love or true friend stories, they mostly will be, for most part, they will be text and music, but it will occasionally might be one or two audio. He meant if the chocolate T-Rex was not alive but made of solid chocolate that couldn't be in the same size as the castle, Twilight got Pinkie Pie to make it, and it was an anniversary gift to Starlight. Oh boy! First of all, um, well, first, um, how they know about T-Rex or dinosaurs in their actual size? I mean, for a fact, we don't even know if any dinosaur or reptile actually existed in Equestria.
I mean, I guess it could be like their best guess.
Yeah, I mean, in the one episode of the MLP G4 is where CMC are helping some kids in Ponyville how to find their own cue mark, which one is named Paleo Petunia, and her parents believe that she wanted to be a pirate, and they even had get the pirate outfit for her. But she had found there were remains of an ancient ancestor to the pony kind, like say it most likely compared to the Neanderthals, kind of. So yeah, I think that's possible. We can
Alright,
um
let's.
it based on that, but in the some of the comics that are based on G4, there is where an ultimate dimension where the main six actually travels to and seeing dinosaurs with cutie marks. So in a way, even though that particular story might not even be canon, like canonical or even canon, so it's difficult to say. But if they if dinosaurs somehow did exist, or
Let's
maybe
see
a
what.
species or a race of reptiles similar to dinosaurs. More
Oh my! It's
there's a
all of
Mario, Mario.
It's Olivio. Looks like an
Oh yeah,
olive.
definitely. But assuming that the question that used to be in a very distant past to be inhabited by some large reptile creatures similar to dinosaurs, and they found bones. So I mean, if dinosaurs did exist, and if they knew the size of a T-Rex, then it wouldn't be a difficult problem for that. But another thing is to making a chocolate figure the same size as a T-Rex and complete solid as Pinky for making it. Yeah. Well, first of all, I doubt that Sugar Cube Corner even have that much chocolate in first place.
Hmm.
But I mean, I think that Sugar Cube Corner has a limit storage and also a limit of how much chocolate they have. So I may think that Twilight had went to see Pinky way before her anniversary with Starlight
Hmm.
actually happened to order at least pre-order this this life-size T-Rex chocolate figure for the anniversary. So in a way, so that Pinky
Oh.
could order
What?
the chocolate in a way beforehand, so that she could have it put in stock or put in storage in advance, so that she can almost do it. Because if Twilight had even asked Pinky of doing that. I don't think that Sugar Cube Corner even have enough chocolate to even to make a complete solid size life size dinosaur. Because based on the building itself, and I really don't know if they're um, even if they have a even if they would have a basement on that, and also based on that, it's very unlikely that that cafe may not even have enough space for that amount of chocolate that would require to make a complete solid life-size T-Rex figure. So I think it most likely that Twilight had gone to Sugar Corner to talk to Pinky and even Mr. and Mrs. Cake about this order and see and having both Mr. and Mrs. Cake approval, even though that they trust Pinky. But considering that the amount of chocolate would have been quite expensive, so I think at least that they may have talked to Mr. and Mrs. Cake in advance to ask if they was having this approved. And if they did approve it, um, if they were approving it, Pinky would have simply just ordered that a much. They would might even had make they might have even had some made calculations of how much chocolate would require. After made that, they might have simply put an order from a bigger city, like say Maidhaven, Trondheim, Gandelot, something like that. Maybe they buy from one place or maybe two different places. That it depends. And having that chocolate transport to Ponyville shortly before this anniversary, and having Pinky working on it, I think that it might be possible. I mean, even though that the Pie parents trust Pinky, but considering the Amar, the how much amount of chocolate that she might have to, you know, require to order, and if they ask her why she put it in order for so much chocolate in first place, if she said, "Oh, that's for actually for my friend Twilight's anniversary with Starlight," and that Twilight had put this request of making this life-size T-Rex in complete salt chocolate for an anniversary gift for Starlight. Um, well, I mean, if you say from that point of view, that might be something that both Mr. and Mrs. Cake will be surprised and even a little bit shocked of even the request in the first place. But it would also be in, considering it might even be a challenge for Pinky if she actually can pull it off. I mean, making a life-size T-Rex figure made of complete solid chocolate, it's a tall order, but based on the building itself, what they have, I think it might the Sugar Cube Corner might just simply have a limit space or maybe a limit amount of chocolate already, since they usually made smaller pies, cakes, cookies, and maybe cupcakes, something like that. And I think more like that's possible that Pinky would have to order more of the chocolate in the first place. And in that sense, it can make absolute sense. And I think it's probably a Pinky would do. I don't even think that the Sugar Cube Corner otherwise would have enough chocolate to even make a life size, like a dinosaur or even a T-Rex size. But I might just say if she made a chocolate size of replica of Starlight in chocolate, complete solid, that I might think maybe Sugar Cube Corner might have enough chocolate to make a life size copy of chocolate of Starlight as an anniversary gift. But a dinosaur like a T Rex, mm, I think they may have to order more of that, considering how big a T Rex is compared to a poniard. But if this T Rex chocolate T Rex wasn't complete solid, but if it was hollow, Maybe that she didn't would have required to buy so much chocolate. Depends. But but yeah, but like again, you said, um, how the how Starlight's reaction would have been. But if Twilight said that this was her anniversary gift to Starlight, it might work. But here's the thing: would it been even okay? Okay, I have to ask this, game guy. Do
Hmm?
you think, honestly, do you think your dad wanna buy order a complete solid chocolate figure of, say, of a T-Rex or something, or at least maybe a life size of of himself as the anniversary gift to your mom, if it was complete solid? Do you think, even if he did that, do you think that he probably would do it? And do you think your mom would even otherwise approve it afterwards?
Well, last I checked, my dad was not insane, so I'm gonna say no.
Yeah. Another thing is that, course, if there was a person size, like same size as your dad, made it look like him, like a complete identical copy,
And I
but
mean,
made of
besides, I
chocolate.
mean, think about it this way: if if it was if it's a Starlight, if they made a Starlight replica of chocolate for her anniversary, like they made it look like her, that would work because like it's like, hey, we were thinking of you, but my dad gave my mom a replica of himself for their anniversary. Like the day he met her, he's like, no, I just want to remind you of me. You just made
Yeah,
himself for her
but
when it's
here's
her anniversary. Like, why would you
yeah, but
do
here's okay.
that? Uh,
But here's another thing. But here's another thing that you probably should think of. Considering that chocolate is made of milk and it's a dairy product, and they usually have a very short expire date. So if they're making a chocolate meat, a figure made of, like, say, the same size as Starlight or even Twilight, it makes sense. More, they probably had a lot. They could probably put it somewhere for storage, maybe a cold storage for a while. But what about a T-Rex size, complete solid chocolate figure? Well, if they don't have anywhere to store it to keep it cold enough for a longer period, yeah, I don't think, despite just two of them, they might even be. They could probably eat half of it, probably only half of a T Rex head, in order, uh, just only enough, half of the head to be before feeling uh full. I don't think, if they would have to be in, if the castle didn't have any sort of freezer or something that could keep the chocolate from melting and being expired. If they don't even have that, it was like, even though that Twilight might, even Starlight would even had asked Twilight, why in Sori Celestia did you even consider to do that? You know that they are only two of you and me, and we can't eat all this chocolate by ourselves. And honestly, though, it makes sense. I mean, Starlight would have a perfect logic to that, with a good point. Considering if the castle didn't have a freezer where they can store the chocolate in the first place, unless they had to cut, unless they had to, if they had a freezer, they would likely have to cut the T Rex in pieces in order to store it. Otherwise, they were even. I don't think the freezer would even be big enough to really just have it stand upright. But if the castle didn't have a freezer, and this was like, say, if they're having your anniversary in the summer, And as Starlight would have pointed out, it's just two of them. And if they don't have any kids by the time of their anniversary, as in also the and I don't since neither of them would even have could even eat that much chocolate by themselves. But I mean, Starlight and Twilight might not even be able to eat that much chocolate. I mean, just imagine having a T-Rex size chocolate figure in that size as an anniversary gift. I mean, if I did if I made that for the Fight Goddess, oh boy, tell I'll tell you, she will ask me straight in my face, "What in God's name did you even do that?" I mean, yeah, she might like, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "Yep, I am." But I don't. Yeah, so if the castle didn't have a freezer, um, so where would they get stored? And since neither Starlight or Twilight can't eat that much chocolate by themselves, if they had a T-Rex sized chocolate figure made of complete solid, it I mean, if they even eat the head of the T-Rex themselves together, they will only get sick and quite stomach pain afterwards. So unless they cut the dinosaur or the T-Rex figure in pieces and gave some of the pieces to the Pony's residents. Otherwise, I mean, considering if the castle didn't have any form of freezer at all, then it would have been quite a little bit
Ha ha.
useless for having that big figurine out otherwise. But I think it's possible if the castle had a freezer, they could just store it there and eat part of it from for later on purposes. But but I had to say otherwise. Um, I don't think they even would otherwise. I mean, even though Starlight simply would have been just questioning Twilight why in the first place she even decided to make a life-size T-Rex as the chocolate figure's anniversary gift. I can say right now, if my dad did that to my mom, well, she would ask him the same thing. Like, why in God's name did you even consider that was a good idea? Since, first of all, my mom isn't much of chocolate that she can even eat that much chocolate, and I can't either. If I would even eat half of a T-Rex head is size in chocolate, boy, I don't tell you, would have been sick. I've been feeling sick for days, and I didn't want to even just see enough chocolate for months afterwards. So yeah, I don't even think otherwise that Starlight might just she might be asking Twilight why she made that happen. But if she would have made a chocolate figure maybe smaller, maybe I don't know. Oh, okay. If it was Fluttershy in Discord, I were already knew exactly what he would um if there was Discord. I think he would have made a life size uh, chocolate figure made of Angel, the rabbit, as complete life size and solid. I mean, it would be more easier to eat. I mean, Angel is smaller compared to T Rex, but yeah, a T Rex size chocolate figure, complete solid. Um, Yeah, I don't think it would have been otherwise a that good idea as an anniversary gift. Starlight might just interrogate questions start Twilight a lot of that part. Um, but I don't think she would even be against the gesture. Um, but if I made, say, a chocolate figure made of a cat, a life-size cat, to Fighters, she would like the idea. After all, she loves cats. She has 5 cats now. She had another cat that recently passed away that they recently buried. And the game froze a third time.
Yeah, I just don't feel like doing the randomizer anymore.
Yeah, and it's
I've
probably the
officially
best.
run out of steam,
Yeah, I was supposed to
and
end the stream
also like
anyways.
run out of seeds. So there's also that. But anyway,
Yeah, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have a Geisha stream about Pokemon. So, yeah. And 2 hours and 46 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Hmm.
you did you did you explain what you meant to Malachite yet? Like
No, but in it,
you should
I
probably
think
do that.
he might heard. It's possible that he might wanted to. There are 2 people actually watching this stream right now. As one of them is definitely
Robert.
Robert Freeman, and so the second might likely be Malachite. So he probably knows. But even though he didn't have to be worrying about
Maybe
the
just in
change,
case, just explain to him.
yeah. Oh well, after the stream is over. So yeah, that has been fun, everyone.
Yep.
Mario, Mario, Mario. There's light blue, white-ish colored, and the one that's green one, and the
And
red
of course,
one.
we couldn't forget the red and green one, the best one.
Yeah. Would Twilight and
And
talk
talk
the life
the
size
life-size chocolate T-Rex. Well,
Starlight suggests the life size shot of her. Yeah, I think she might just simply would have made a life size of Starlight instead of a T Rex. Considering, first of all, if Starlight wasn't in a castle at the moment, where would she have to hide T Rex otherwise? I mean, she could probably hide it in a castle if she used a shrinking spell. But yeah, I think Twilight might simply uh, make a life-size replica of Starlight in chocolate rather than T-Rex. And honestly, though, I may would even do if I would even do a life-size replica of myself in chocolate. If I'm honest, it's just that the spongy likes chocolate, but I don't think anyone would eat that much. Honestly, though, I mean, game guy, would you even eat if you made a chocolate cup yourself, complete solid chocolate, same size as you, would how much would you even be able to eat?
not much of it.
Yeah, and eventually, I say if you even to eat one of your arms on that figure, you probably get tired after eating too much chocolate in the long run. And if you even had, let's say, eat half of your chocolate self, you probably wouldn't want to see chocolate for the next several months or even the rest of the year. So I'm just saying it's just um uh how to say it might be expensive. And considering that I did, if I read an article last year, that chocolate itself, at least the cocoa beans, the production of chocolate might be decline until since most of the cocoa beans plants are living in tropical regions, and since the global temperature is rising, those plants can't stand too much heat. And if the production to decline maybe a third or maybe half of the world production of chocolate, that means normal prices of chocolate in your countries and in mine would have been rising, maybe twice, maybe almost 5 times the expensive the regular is. Let's say if a normal um, Milky Way bar costs say maybe $10 or $12 each for one, and if the prices goes up twice, almost 10 times that, almost like say from $12 maybe it's 50 or maybe $62 for a chocolate bar. I don't think most people want to buy that. Just to imagine that prices will just go up, up, and up. And so, yeah. But a life-size figure of yourself, or in this case, a T-Rex, that would have been impressive. That would have been impressive work of art. But giving that to someone as an anniversary gift, hey, boy, you need to have a deep pockets for the money. That would be quite expensive. Oh, imagine making a chocolate size of the moon complete solid. Or even Jupiter. Well, that's gonna cost you tons of money. That's just like amount you don't even want to even imagine. Maybe not even a few 100,000, maybe a million or more. I mean, I've seen people making chocolate figures of smaller things, but a life size of a T-Rex or maybe another bigger dinosaur like I don't know, a Brachiosaurus or something like that. Ooh, that'd be a big challenge, especially those sauropod or long neck dinosaurs. You need to have something to keep the leg from, snap in half or so. I'm just saying those. It's just, you know, shock the size of T Rex. I think, assuming things that actually has happened. Hmm, who knows? Anyways, almost 3 hour mark here, so I should probably end.
All right.
Everyone, this has been fun. This is Gustavo signing off. Bye.
And goodbye.
And just to say, don't eat too much sweet, people. You don't want to have a stomach pain. See ya.